We welcome you back into our Pioneer postgame coverage. Tusculum victorious 75-54, knocking off Newberry. First double-digit win against Newberry since 2011. It's been some time, but the Pioneers now have won 2 of 3 against the Wolves, who came in winners of 8 of 9 against Tusculum. But now Newberry's dropped 5 consecutive games after opening the year at 11-1. Joined by Pioneer coach Devan Carter's Pioneers. This was... You can't look at the stats in this game. We didn't shoot the ball great. We turned them over an inordinate amount of time, scored a bunch of points off the turnovers, yet through 3.5 quarters, this was as tight a game as it could be, as Meg Essex kept that team in the game. I mean,
arguably the best post player in the league. It's not arguably, she is. And, I told our girls at the end of the day, they have 2 really good players. And one, whoever that may be, is gonna have a night, but you can't let both of them have a night. And so our goal was to take away one of them. I think on the same token, you look at somebody like Kendra Duke, who gets into double figures. She's able to kind of offset what Essex was able to do. And then I think the pressure obviously was a big key tonight for us, to be able to get them to turn the ball over 29 times. We had 14 steals. I think those are the key stats. We were able to get some second chance points off that, and that really helped us in the ballgame.
Yeah, your offensive rebound numbers in the game, 12-4, an advantage there. Rebounds pretty. You don't out-rebound a bunch of people, but if you get second chance points, you're pretty hard to beat.
Right, and ain't no doubt about it. And that's one of the things at halftime I had to have a conversation with our team about, is that, a couple times shots went and we didn't get to the glass. And, points off turnovers, second chance points, those are things that we've really been trying to focus on, especially here recently for us, is second chance opportunities. And so to get that today, definitely huge. Like you said, we don't out-rebound many people, but to be tied up in the rebounding battle against that team, arguably the biggest team in our league, was big for us.
You talked about it early, and I thought it was the key in the game. Essex at 17 a game, nearly a double-double, but then Britton at 17 a game.
Yeah.
And she goes 2 for 6, and she had 6 turnovers a game. You really frustrated Shelby. Never really could complement what Essex was doing in the game.
Right, and that's big for us. I mean, she doesn't get tired. I don't know how many minutes she played tonight, but I don't remember her coming out much.
Yeah.
And she's well-conditioned. She's super skilled. And the thing about it is we just tried to match quickness on quickness with her and put Mia Long and Jayla Arnwine on her, and they did a great job. Obviously, Jayla being able to stay out of foul trouble tonight was huge for us, and Mia as well. And so we just wanted to keep bodies on her. And I told our girls, as of this week, that's still a top 25 team.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the last time we've beat a top 25 team in our program has been. I know it's been a long, long time. And for them to lock into the scouting report today, was big, because I felt like we had 2 opportunities slip away in Wingate and Carson Newman where we didn't, and we lost focus for a few possessions. But tonight, pretty much, they were spot on.
And what's funny is that your press, which was all game, because Locklear is back, which seemed she wasn't 100%. You could see that.
Absolutely.
But she gave you that depth to be able to press the whole game. You didn't force them a lot at mid-court. You forced a lot of the turnovers after Newberry had mistakes on the back end, which was really odd today.
Absolutely. Call it fix-it situations. And, we were able to, whether they were penetrating or whatever it may be, we were able to cover down and get some steals on the back end. And, that's really, to be quite honest with you, that's signs of just a really good pressing team, because last year we didn't get a lot of those situations. It was new to our kids, but year 2, being in it, they're able to get some of those fixed situations and get them covered. So really, really proud of that. I mean, to turn Newberry over 29 times, I didn't expect that at all. I don't think anybody did. Like I said, a top 25 team, and to be able to do that, is a testament to our kids and how hard they played in spots tonight.
All right, you mentioned her earlier, and I'll cover up here. 15 points, 2 assists, 3 steals. Jayla Arnwine played about 5 minutes against Wingate. That's a career number for her, 15 points. And, when the game was 6 and 7 and Newberry's making that, she hits that corner three.
Yes.
And that really seemed to change this team.
Absolutely. And the thing is that I tell Jayla all the time, when she lets the game come to her, she can get a ton of wide open shots. She doesn't have to force it. Tonight, she let the game come to her. She had a ton of rhythm shots tonight. She stepped in and knocked them down. Maybe I'm different as a coach, but I try to encourage our kids to be as confident as possible and to step into their shots. So, I don't know what her percentage is on the year, but I want her shooting the ball when she's open. And tonight, she took a lot of open shots. She knocked them down. The thing that I think is really great about her number tonight, though, is that she had a lot of great passes. Not necessarily assists, but more passes and dump-offs in the paint. She played a complete ball game tonight.
Mia Long had a Mia Long-esque game. Kendra didn't start out that way, and I think it had a lot to do with Meg Essex forcing some stuff. We missed a bunch of stuff in the paint, and a lot of that has to do with an All-American type player in the paint.
Yeah.
But obviously you challenged her in the second half, and she came out a different player in the second half.
She did. And to be quite honest with you, she knew it at the half that she let so many opportunities slip. Had some great moves at the rim and had some really wide-open shots, and she just missed those. But at the same time, she responded in the second half and wanted to start the half, and then a couple of putbacks, and then the post move she made to get a run going in that third quarter were all huge. And so really proud of how she responded after halftime. 4 or 5 from the line. Jayla Arnwine 4 or 4 from the line. Callie, Lovely. Those girls knocking down their free throws are really big for us today.
Then she gets hurt.
And
we don't need any more bad luck.
Right.
But it didn't look good with her coming off in a huge stretch right now for this team.
Right.
But it was good to see Williams play good defensively. I think she did a good job against Essex there late.
Yeah, and the other thing that Jazz did too, she rebounded the basketball for us, had a couple of really big rebounds when we were making our run. When we were putting that run together, I think Jazz came up with 2 rebounds that were getting tipped around, and she just went up and grabbed them. Mia Long got a layup in transition, and then on the other one, Jayla Arnwine hit a 3, and those were really big. The thing with Jazz is that, I tell her all the time, she has a chance to impact the game, and the stat sheet may not really show it, but she altered shots tonight, got a couple big rebounds for us, and then the big drop step move on the baseline to score it, I thought was really big. That was during our run as well. So Jazz being able to come in and give us big minutes, huge.
Another 2-game slide that has ended because we have just played very well. I'm not going to say it's the best game that I've seen tonight because there's areas that we could have fixed, but This was a response game that we had to have tonight.
Right. And you know what? I think the big thing of it is I told our girls, after the Carson Newman game, I felt like, you're playing one of the top teams in the country, preseason number 2 or 3 in the country. You take the lead late. I felt like we had 2 lapses in judgment that cost us the ball game. Wingate and credit to Wingate, they made us pay every time we made a lapse. The last lapse, the corner 3, was not Wingate, it was Tusculum. We made that mistake. And so tonight, for the most part, we were locked into that scouting report, the attention to detail, and it showed because, this team can really score the basketball. They're skilled in all areas, and holding the 54, really impressive.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Devan Carter, Pioneers get a big win against Newberry and get their first double-digit win against the Wolves since 2011. Back with more of our Pioneer postgame after this as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.